sprinklers that are right. Keep it safe and make sure there's no fire. Open to YouTube and look for Keds Fire Protection Answers.
The top 5 fire sprinkler failures that could cost you thousands. What are they? Great question. So today we're going to cover those top 5 sprinkler system failures that cost businesses thousands and, depending on the size of the building, sometimes millions. Fire sprinklers are incredibly reliable when maintained properly, but small overlooked issues turn into massive problems during an emergency. Let's break down some of the biggest failures we see in the industry today. So, failure number 1. You had a system that had an issue and they shut it down and drained it, and they've sent you a quote, but you haven't signed it. This is the most dangerous thing you could do because now your system's inoperable. Water doesn't flow when the system is activated because the valve is closed and there's nothing in it. Somebody shut off the valve and forgot to reopen it. Could have been the underground valve outside is shut. You would have no idea. But these are the types of things that make your system not work. So to prevent this, that's why we have tamper switches. They tell you that a valve is closed. You have chains and locks to make sure that the valve is locked in the open position. You have locked doors. And you should be checking these things weekly or monthly with a checklist if you have a big building especially, just to be sure. But that's one of the biggest failures. Failure number 2 is when you're not doing your 5-year inspections and there's corrosion on the outside or inside the pipe and you don't know about it. Could be causing leaks, pinholes. There could be obstructions of the piping because it's just blistered that much on the inside. You could have MIC, microbiologically influenced corrosion. Also, zebra mussels, things that grow inside your sprinkler system and eat the pipe. They eat steel. Yeah, there are things there. Yeah. Generally brought on by trapped air in the system that allows them to live. So you should be doing your 5-year inspections. If you have a large system with peak roofing, I suggest air release valves, possibly even a nitrogen system to put nitrogen in there because that's toxic to those things and it will kill them and help preserve your system. But corrosion and MIC and all these things are silent killers to your system. They can also obstruct the sprinkler heads, which is issue number 3. Sometimes during construction, stuff will get into the pipe and obstruct the head. A rat might crawl in there and get stuck and die. You don't know. You don't know what's in there. Somebody could have stuffed their lunch bag in there. We check, but if they stuffed it in nice and neat and you can't see it, it might be stuck in there. Stuff could blow in from construction from the roadways. They broke a fire main and sucked up rocks. So if it stops the water from flowing, that's a big failure. That's why we do IPIs, 5-year inspections, internal pipe inspections. We take stuff apart, we look inside, we make sure that the pipe we take apart is wet, because if it's dry, that's an indicator, if it's a wet system, that there's a problem. So the other thing is painted heads. You don't want to have painted heads that are stopping your sprinklers from going off at the right temperature, or stopping them from going off at all. Painted covered heads, things like that, those are failure number 3. Obstructed heads, things in front of the sprinkler head, things obstructing the pipe on the inside, all those kinds of things are bad. And that's why we write them up. Your fire sprinkler inspector is not there to just make money. He's there to look at your system and make sure it's going to work in the event it needs to. He's there to save your behind in an emergency. He's also there to protect the fire department, because when they show up, if the fire sprinklers are doing their job, when they open that front door, it's not going to cause backdraft and blow them across the street. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons that fire sprinkler inspectors are there to do a job the way that they're doing it. And if they write it up, it's probably a good idea to get it fixed. So failure number 4, freezing pipes. So yeah, if your electric company does rolling blackouts during winter because everybody's using extra energy for heat and such, they're doing you a disservice. Because if they have it off for more than 2 or 3 hours and it gets below 40 degrees, now your pipes are starting to freeze in your building. If you have dry systems, that's a great thing. The problem is now the electric's off, so the compressor can't keep up. So it might trip and freeze your pipes. So yes, you should insulate. Yes, you should use a dry system in unheated areas. You got to maintain your heat in your building above 40 degrees, because at 40 degrees, because metal is a great conductor of electricity and also temperature. At 40 degrees, the water inside that pipe begins to freeze, because the water inside is going to drop below 32. So yeah, you should be checking all of this stuff weekly or monthly to make sure that your compressor's working, that the pressure is where it should be, that there's nothing causing issues that trip your system, so on and so forth. You know, you want to make sure that your system, it has the best chance to do its job. That was number 5. So everybody has inspections done and so on and so forth. But if they don't, that's probably going to be one of them. So most fire sprinklers don't fail during those inspections. They fail during fires. And when they do, the damage is usually worse if you're not doing the things that you need to do with those inspections, like fixing your deficiencies and so on. System freeze. So yeah, if you're not keeping up with your inspections and fixing your deficiencies, fire marshal could come in, cause you problems, cause you fines. There's more money that's getting spent because you aren't keeping up. So if it's written up for a reason. I would discuss that with your sprinkler company, what can be done, how it can be done. They can always set your work for do this much this month, the next month, and so on, so that you can get things done if you can't afford to have it all done at once. But yeah, you do have responsibilities with your system that you need to keep up on as well. Weekly checking of the valves to make sure they're all open the way they're supposed to be, you know, or monthly, you know, depending on what's going on in your building, you know, things like that. If you've got a large apartment building, I would be checking them weekly, just me. So, but these are the top 5 things that will cause failures to your system that could cause you thousands of dollars. Have a great rest of your day, and let's not cost you money. Let's maintain your system properly. We'll see you next time.
When you find your alarm sounds off in the night, don't make mistakes, get answers that are right. Keep it safe and make sure there's no fire. Open to YouTube and look for Kids Fire Protection Answers. Kids Fire Protection Answers. Got questions, he's got answers that make sense. Don't wait the channel to open. It's Kids Fire Protection Answers.